It's time now for Inside NAU's Mitch Stroman, who recently spoke with Dr. Laura Huenneke, the Vice President for Research.
Teresa, thanks very much. Joining us on Inside NAU is Dr. Laura Huenneke, who is Vice President for Research at NAU for the past over 2 years. Thanks for joining us on Inside NAU.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
Tell us about what the Vice President of Research does at Northern Arizona University.
The role is one that has both internal and external parts to it. Internally, the job of my office is to support our faculty and staff and increasingly our students in carrying out their own research and creative activities. Externally, a lot of that is about building partnerships, finding funding and financial support or other resources to help carry out that scholarship, and then to help translate the results of research into real-world products or opportunities.
Laura, research at any university, especially one the size of NAU or bigger, is a big part of what the university's role is in its mission. How big is research at Northern Arizona University?
Research is indeed the defining element of a university versus a college or a solely educational institution. And our research is measured in many ways. You can measure it in terms of money. We bring in around $60 million or more in new external awards every year for research and some of our outreach activities. Research can also be measured in terms of its impact on the discipline, the number of publications, the number of presentations, the collaborations between our faculty and our students, and those people elsewhere in their disciplines. By all of those measures, NAU is well within the rank of high research universities, one of the defining categories of institutions out there.
You know, it's interesting when you talked about the money that research actually brings into an institution like an NAU. That's a big focal point right now in terms of when you look at limited dollars, limited resources, research is a big driver. It can also be an economic driver for a university and its surrounding constituency.
Indeed, research and the funding that we bring in to carry out our research is a significant economic driver for the region, especially where we're attracting external funds. Those dollars come into this institution. They're spent on salaries and wages. They're spent on student support. They're spent on buying supplies or equipment. And all of that contributes to creating jobs in the region, in the state. There's a major federal effort undergoing right now to try to quantify just how much does research translate into economic development for a region or for the country as a whole.
When you think about research at any university, research has given us as a society from the university level many of the things that we enjoy today that help make our quality of life what it is here in the United States. NAU is a part of that just as much as any other university.
Absolutely. At the federal level, it's become very clear that universities are increasingly the source of innovation that leads to marketplace and health and other improvements for society. 40 years ago, that wasn't the case. Industry supported a lot of research and development, or R&D, but over the last decade, universities have become very much the overwhelming source of innovation for society.
It's almost sounds like an incubator in a way for research, for growth, for the development of things for our society that are critical to our way of life.
Absolutely. Universities are the incubators for the innovation or the novel ideas. It frequently takes some other kind of partner to turn those ideas into actual business opportunities or into new industries that actually employ people, produce products. Universities themselves aren't that good at that translation into society. But for the early stage, the raw material of the creativity itself, that's exactly what universities are good at.
Fascinating stuff. Dr. Laura Huenneke, Vice President for Research at NAU, thanks so much for joining us on Inside NAU.
Thank you for having me.